We're back again.
Again.
We're back again. I think the title of our last podcast episode was "We're Back."
Yeah.
And then we disappeared for 2 weeks.
Yeah. Kind of depressing.
Oops. Sorry about that, all you Casters Couch fans, as we took our surprise hiatus for 2 weeks for absolutely no crazy reason. It wasn't like, esports was internally combusting or anything like that, right?
I blacked out for 2 weeks.
I elect to remain silent.
Good choice.
Yeah, well, some things were missing for the past 2 weeks. We actually got, I think, like a lot of fun shit and also crazy shit happened, just kind of like in the wake of missing content. I saw you two started streaming again. So like, Flowers, you were streaming some viewer games, or what were you doing?
So I started off because I was streaming I was the official commentator for Toast's show match that he did.
Yeah.
So I was the official commentator for that, but since it wasn't like a full-on, like, serious paid gig, my terms were, I was like, I want to be able to co-stream it on my own channel at the same time. And he was like, yeah, cool, no problem. So that got me back into, I got really good numbers on that, for somebody who hasn't been streaming consistently, sitting there at, 9K, 10K the entire time, felt really good, kind of like jived up that old feeling of, hey man, it feels cool to make content that a bunch of people want to tune into. And so I was like, okay, how can I keep this rolling? Obviously, I don't have an S-level influencer doing a one-time show match to do on any day other than this one specific day.
You've got me.
Right. So obviously there's no comparison.
Yes.
So what I'm working with instead is I'm like, what's just the...
At least
You
he's
set that
honest.
up.
At
I
least
could
he's
not.
honest.
That was the easiest, like, just free hit.
It's
Come
okay.
on.
I'll just cry on the inside. That's fine.
You can't blame me for that one.
Okay, so
can't blame me for
910K.
Yeah, so I was just like, well, let's just do some of the old Captain Flowers content, casting people from my Twitch chat playing League of Legends, giving people a chance to feel like, they're playing on a big stage, right?
Yeah.
And people loved that in the past, and honestly, they loved it again here. I did it on all of the days, the 3 remaining days that the LCS would have been on. I just did Captain Flowers viewer games instead. We got a couple thousand people every time just showing up, playing in the games, having a good time with them. So yeah, that's what I was doing.
That's sick. So wait, is that something that you want to or can continue?
I'm planning on trying to continue it, but I got to figure out what days, because like I said, the past couple of weeks, I did it on Thursday and Friday when LCS wasn't there.
Yeah.
And so with the postponing of the season now being done, Thursday and Friday are occupied.
Ooh, I have a great idea.
What's your idea?
I feel like even though it might be tough, you may be able to scrounge up some viewership on the weekends. Look, I know in the general. I know.
That's preposterous. No one watches esports on weekends unless it's
tough,
Valorant.
right?
What are we, European?
It's a bad idea. My bad. Apologies. Just throwing that out there into the ether.
Well, you were playing a lot of Street Fighter, I saw on Twitch. I would tune in, and then you're playing. Who are you playing?
I was playing Jamie. He's the drunken fist character. So,
Yeah.
Chad. It's amazing. The entire time, I would stream with the title be like, oh, sipping on Henny, and people just mistook it as if I was day drinking. I was just like, and man, I was so excited too. I was like, okay, I'm going to try out 3 characters. DJ, he's black. There's Jury, maybe a sim for Jury. And of course, Jamie. I was looking at Jamie because a lot of the content that I saw prior was like, he looked really cool. I tried all 3 characters. I felt like Jamie was the one that I had the most fun with, but I got my ass beat. I got placed in plat, which in this game is pretty good.
Yeah.
But then I got my ass destroyed up until the point I was in gold 1, which is reverse from League. In League, gold 1 is great. And you go down to gold 5, it's bad. No, gold 5 is good. Go down to gold 1. I fucking fell. And I was like, wow, I feel like I was playing. There are a few matches where I feel like I was playing better than this guy, and I just got shit on. And then the tier lists start coming out. I was like, oh, okay. Oh, D tier. All right, nice. Jamie's not. But I think he is a more complicated character. It's funny too, because when you're going into character selects, you'll say, oh, Jamie is like a normal, like he's not a hard character to learn. He's like normal. I was like, okay, no, he's one of the harder fucking characters to learn.
Oh, so they just
They lied. They just straight lied to you because, so I'm not going to say the whole mechanic, it's not needed. All I'm going to say is that basically once you have 4 sips until you're fully maxed out. You have so many combos, you're sick, right? Without any sip of your drink, you are just a weak piece of shit. And then if you sip twice, oh, now you have access to more combos. So it's a mini game within a game where people are just rushing you down like monkeys. It's not great. It's not good. You're trying to find a time to take a sip while people are just trying to beat your ass. So you're like, okay, I guess I'm not going to be able to do it.
So have you ever played Street Fighter like on an arcade cabinet with someone, or have you only ever played it online?
But it was not within my memory. Like, it was when I was like a 5-year-old or something. There was an arcade in Canada right next to my house. But then that arcade just blew up. Obviously, no one was there. But when I went to China, there was an arcade, so I played on Fight Stick on there. There are a few arcades that I've been to when I was a grown-ass man. But generally, I grew up through consoles. Like, play Street Fighter 2 on consoles, 4, 3, and... I mean, all of the games I played were mostly on consoles.
So you've never fought anyone at a table?
A table?
Like at a console in an arcade?
Oh, no,
You've
I've
never been
never-
like, that shit's cheap, and then
Yeah,
reach over
never
and slap
happened.
'em?
Never happened.
I did that at a Chuck E. Cheese.
What?
I did that at a Chuck E. Cheese. Do you remember like I know Ian remembers this because we played it at Gerard's thingy. Did you ever see that big X-Men cabinet? Where
I think
what
I've
is it
seen it.
called?
Well, there's Marvel vs. Capcom.
X-Men versus Street Fighter.
No, it was just X-Men. It was the
X-Men, the
side
arcade game?
side scroller.
Yeah.
Like a beat 'em up.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Welcome
It's like
to
this.
Die, X-Men.
Yeah.
You got into a fight over a beat 'em up.
At Chuck E. Cheese when I was little. So like the way that the game works, it's a side scrolling beat 'em up.
Yeah.
And I think there's like 5 or 6 different stations. So
Okay.
everyone's got like a little corner, and you have like 2 buttons and then a move.
Yeah.
And I would always choose Storm because she was like one of the only girls on there, and also she kicks ass. She's
And
got like
she's
the
Halle
tornadoes
Berry. If you're
going.
Halle Berry, that's an instant win.
It's Storm or Dazzler, so
Yeah, there it is.
easy choice.
And there was this kid who was next to me who kept getting mad. And I want to say that I was probably like 8 or 9 years old, and this kid was probably like 12 or 13, right? So it's like, if there's a height difference of like this,
Yeah.
what are you doing, right? And so he was getting mad because he's like, you're wasting your specials. You're wasting your specials. And I'm like, shut up. I like seeing the tornadoes go, and I've got a bucket full of tokens. And he starts shoving me at this like Chuck E. Cheese arcade
What a
cabinet.
dickhead.
Right? I'm small. I'm a small little girl. And he starts shoving me. So then I remember, I can't remember if it was just like a full body tackle or if I just threw an elbow, but I just went woof. And he kind of like fell over from the cabinet and just sat down. He's like,
Oh my god.
and then he left, and I had to hide in the Chuck E. Cheese ball pit.
But that sounds like great preparation for what is his future career as a Valorant or League of Legends gamer. It's just like, woman in my lobby. Get out of here, wench. And then starts crying when he gets any snapback.
People
I
suck.
will, as a resident Ohio person, I will also award you. That story has earned you one of the white trash Infinity Stones. That is one way that you define white trash, is getting in a fight in a Chuck E. Cheese. That sounds like the most,
True.
I would not believe that happens outside of my hometown and stuff up until I've discovered that it now happens everywhere. So you've unlocked that power.
Wait, have I told you about the fight in the McDonald's ball pit?
Before you do that, Ian, have you ever been to a Chuck E. Cheese?
I have been to a Chuck E. Cheese.
Okay, I was wondering because my parents ain't never taken me to a Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah.
Did they have Chuck E. Cheese in Canada?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
They did. Okay.
My parents they're not going to take me out anywhere nice. There's it's just not happening.
Okay, well,
It's
first
not
off,
that
Chuck
nice.
E. Cheese ain't nice. Chuck E. Cheese is a ball
The
pit.
commercials made it look nice.
All of it's just stained with greasy piece of shit from a bunch of unattended children. There's
Have you heard the conspiracy theories of Chuck E. Cheese pizza?
oh, the fact that the rat was fat, and they thought that if they made the rat skinny, they would somehow absolve themselves of the guilt of making all the children fat by feeding them garbage.
No. I've never heard that one, but the theory that I have heard, and people have they've gone to multiple Chuck E. Cheese to test this theory, and so far it hasn't been disproven. But when you get a pizza at Chuck E. Cheese, the pizza comes out and it always looks weirdly misshapen, and not oh, it's kind of indented here, or there was a pizza bubble here or something like that, but none of the slices really look the same. So there's a theory right now where or maybe a couple years ago, that they take all of the leftover pizza slices from uneaten pizza and they put them together to make one pizza.
Absolutely not. Definitely.
Oh,
I
that's
don't-
insane.
I'm
No
pretty sure
way.
you could get sued hella easy
Yeah.
for that.
That would be the end of Chuck E. Cheese
yeah.
so fast.
No.
don't-
It has not been disproven yet. It has not been disproven yet.
That's insane.
That's wild even for Chuck E. Cheese, man.
We need to get the Mythbusters on this. Come
Oh,
on.
I know. Check Reddit. Oh,
No.
wait. Reddit's freaking dead right
can't, we
now.
Can't do
Rip.
anything with that.
No, have you guys been on Reddit in like the last 24 hours, 48 hours or something?
I have been, and I've been largely unaware of what's been happening. I saw a clip of how many subreddits that were going
Gone
down.
dark.
Deactivate.
Were deactivating, and I was like, "What the fuck's happening?" And it was only today, this morning, when I was having a pretty large conversation about it, because I was getting more informed, but it wasn't until that conversation I was like, okay, now I see why.
Do you want to TLDR it?
TLDR, Reddit is monetizing their API.
And
And-
API is
API is like the data behind the scenes, behind the
it's
behind
something
Reddit.
that third party
Yes.
users
To access sites
take
information.
to kind of like create own little things. So like bots, I've heard.
Yes.
So like comment bots.
For the League of Legends people out there, since there's a lot of people that know League,
this is better.
op.gg, which can pull your match history, show the information about a live game or whatever, that uses Riot's API. So
Yeah.
Reddit's API would just be the thing that allows you to access information about the different subs or about like process the posts, just manipulate the site in a way that can create useful additions.
Yeah.
Like an example that I've heard of is like a text to speech thing for people who cannot like see or are pretty like, of course, just vision impaired, and now you can't do that because I've heard that the monetization is pretty aggressive. Like this is a pretty big fee, so people are not willing to pay that. Yeah.
Or can't, honestly. Some of the apps just can't afford it.
Yeah.
I mean, the number that I saw was definitely unaffordable for
Apollo,
a lot.
Yeah,
What-
I think
what
the
did you
Apollo
see?
number was 30 million.
I thought it was 20 mil.
Was it 20 million?
What?
Yeah.
It was very high.
How broke is Reddit right now?
But that's one of the most used third-party apps, Apollo.
Okay.
It's been around for a long time, before there was an official Reddit app.
God damn.
Jesus.
Mobile app.
There's all of these assholes who are coming into tech and just purchasing something going like, oh, Reddit, yes, I've heard my kid uses this a lot. Why don't I just buy this up right now? The same thing like Elon saying, I'm going to purchase Twitter because I can make it great.
Yep.
Or Comcast purchasing G4. Either way, like they just keep taking something that's amazing and then just like stomping it into the dirt and spitting on all of the faces of like the audience and community members that are trying to use it.
But Ovilee, you're forgetting the most important thing, and that's quarterly profits. Like just really
Infinitely increasing
Please, just
quarterly
think about quarterly profits for a second.
I'm so sorry. I want to give a formal apology to all of the CEOs who are going from $1 million a year to only $990,000 in salary. It's not fair to them.
SMH.
They all make $400
SMH.
million.
I'm so sad. Oh, one of the main reasons why I was kind of getting a little fussy-wussy is because the FlyQuest music video dropped today. Yay! And that's what I was doing for the last 2 weeks or so.
Yeah.
We guest started in it.
You did. You did. There was the cameo, and we had a couch.
We had the
for
couch.
Caster's couch.
Which is important.
But yeah, so that music video was supposed to drop on the Monday of week 1.
Yeah.
Right.
But we had the LCS strike news Sunday evening, so we're like, push it, do not. It's like, it was a no-brainer though. Who would
Right.
want to drop like a fun piece of content right before nothing?
Yeah.
Right? And
Yeah.
also you want to be supportive of the players
Yeah.
who voted in favor for it. So I was super excited with that. This project for me, because you two have worked on like all of my previous ones where
Yes.
it's like very memey music videos. We're doing like all green screen. It's just supposed to be like jokes on jokes and jokes.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
writing a scarner. You're
Right.
twerking with set or something
There
like
it is.
that. And I'm doing weird shit. But for the past few years, I've wanted to try to do something like a little bit different. So like when we did the Worlds thing with EG, like we brought in drag queens in full black morph suits doing like dances.
Yeah.
Oh, the Vogue.
The voguing.
I learned what Vogue was from
Yeah.
that.
It's a type of dance for those
know.
of you unaware. But we did like the voguing, and then this time I was like, I want to do something fun, but I also want to do something that like I know the community would freak out over.
Yes.
And what community doesn't freak out over K-pop? and more specifically BTS.
There it is.
So when we had we got the players, I got them the lyrics, we hired a choreographer and everything, and the players learned the lyrics, they learned the dances, and then they gave us the performance that we saw. And you two joined us on the set, I think halfway through the day.
Yeah.
But even when you were walking in, players were still watching the videos on their phone and trying to review the lyrics. So did you were you kind of amazed by seeing the players kind of get that into it? Because I was,
especially Prince. I feel like Prince is a player. He just loves any dumb content or just any dumb fun content that you send his way. He's 100%. There was the initial, I remember way back when he first came in for the LCS, we did that whole Korean lesson, just saying bad words. He was so down for it. And then this one, we came on the set, and he was, even when he was not on and we were doing the couch thing, he just walked into the room just to watch us do it. And he was really bubbly and just excited to do the next thing. I just love, because very rarely, not even me, if I'm on set for longer than 2 hours, I'm just I could be playing League of Legends, or I could be I don't know, literally laying on my bed doing nothing.
It's the downtime that's killer.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it just seems like throughout the entire process, he really enjoyed it. So that just made it for me.
And see, the dude's a Chad too, because when he was in there watching us do our recording part, after we finished up with our quick spot, because we're only on there for a 10-second cameo or whatever, he walked up to me, he was like, "Oh, good job, you guys," and he shook my hand, and he gave me this hella grip handshake, and then he did the old school, the 1950s guy handshake bump. I'm just all right, brother, hell yeah. So no, he was really cool about it. And the one fun fact that I will give you guys is, so we were only in that, me and Raz were only in the video for the 10 seconds for any of you guys who saw it. And we essentially, we just sit there, we nod our heads, and then we have to throw our heads back and go, ha! We had to take the ha 7 or 8 times. We did not get the ha on a single take. We fucked up that ha hella bad.
The most obvious coordination issues coming up every time, where I go, ha, you go, ha, or the other way around, and you're oh, we suck.
We fucked it up so bad. I was just, even going into it, when Ovilee told us all we had to do, it was oh man, this is the freest job ever. This is so easy.
Yep.
And then we just fucked it up 7 times in a row.
And it's the director that's the nicest guy that's just yeah, we could do that one more time. Yeah, you guys were great, but let's do it.
Okay, guys, I'm gonna count now.
You guys were great. Take 8. Let's bring it.
Yes.
Raz.
Yes.
Would you like something to drink?
I would love something.
Would you like a super special Coca Cola?
Oh.
I'll take
baby.
a Coca Cola.
Okay.
Special one.
This is
let
this
me
is
get
not
it.
a sponsored segment, by the way. This is absolutely not a sponsored segment.
Unless
Could
you want
hand
to,
me
Coca-Cola, hit us
that
up.
and then the box, please, and we'll do the full review.
YouTube.com/Casters Couch or whatever our Patreon is. I don't actually know.
Okay, wait. Let me. Shh. I'm hiding. Can't open the box. Here we go.
What am I looking at?
Okay, cool.
I'm looking at it. I don't know what I'm looking at. Okay, I'm not looking at it.
Okay.
I'm not looking at it.
So this got sent to
Nothing
me in
to
the
see here.
mail.
Okay.
From League of Legends. I think they already were promoting this thing, but I thought it was super cute.
What is it?
How come we
So-
didn't get this?
It's a
We
great
worked
What
with
the
League of
hell is
Legends.
this?
We worked directly with Riot Games on a League of Legends product. We didn't get a magical treasure box.
I got wounded in the line of combat. I got COVID in London. What is this?
It's super cute. Ian, can you take my camera
Yeah.
real quick? I'll show. So look, this is this cute thing. So I didn't know they were sending it to me. So I got a box on my porch, and I
Yeah.
thought it was a bomb, and I got scared.
Yeah.
But then
Or
I opened it up,
anthrax.
and it was so much better.
Anthrax.
Look how cute it is. So it's basically League of Legends, and Coca Cola did a little
It lights up?
collaboration. Yeah, isn't that
What
cute?
the-
One can is missing because Ian already drank one.
Then why are you giving me the other one?
So you can have it. Wait,
As a rule, if I'm gonna make talent eat or drink something on camera, I have to do it myself first.
Yeah.
Just
I
to make
would
sure that
love
it's
to
not
drink it.
just horribly.
Okay.
I just don't want to
Yes.
take
So-
away your special prize.
oh no, it's okay. Here, will you pass that? Flowers, will you pass it to it? Sorry, I'm blocked.
This is like finding the One Piece.
Isn't it cute? And this is not sponsored. This is not a sponsored segment. I just thought it was cute, and I know that Raz likes Coca-Cola.
Before you drink that, Flowers, do you want some too?
Yeah, sure. I'll
Hold-
try it.
hold on. Let me get one more glass.
I'll give anything a
Okay,
shot.
okay. They also came with all of these cute little pins.
Plus XP
Look
flavored.
at that. Isn't that cute?
It's flavored with experience.
Oh, these
I
are
know,
cool,
right?
dude. These are actually pretty cool.
It's called We're Excited to Share the Coca Cola Creations for releasing a limited
bud.
edition plus XP flavor. So
Here's
it's
what the pins look
experience
like.
flavor in partnership with League of Legends Coca Cola
I'm getting
Ultimate.
a selfie with this thing.
Oh, those are
It's
pretty
so
good.
cute.
There you
Don't
go.
forget, you can also screenshot this video if you subscribe to Patreon, so then you can look at this whenever you want.
What did I miss?
Yep, you need to subscribe.
Oh, it fell right out.
It's okay.
Shit.
You just dropped a ball. All right, try it.
Hold on.
Oh,
After you open it, pour some in Flower's glass so you guys can drink it together.
oh, together.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
From the same cup. That's romantic.
No, you
Why'd you have
drink,
to say
from the
that?
can.
No,
Ross.
no. Drink it.
No, pour some.
Drink
exactly.
it and then spit it into each other's mouth.
And then smell his hair.
Yeah. And caress the back of his head lovingly.
Dip it. Here you go.
It's
buddy.
Pride Month. Fuck you.
You got a problem with that?
Do
huh?
it
If
for
you
pride.
don't do it, it's homophobic.
You got a problem with that, huh? What's your opinion on homosexuality?
Anyway, let's
Guys,
try
can you
this
please
Coca-Cola.
drink the Coca-Cola so I can drink the Coca-Cola?
Do arm locking. Do arm
right,
do
all
arm
right, all
locking.
right, all right,
Arm
here we go,
locking.
here we
I think
go.
that's fair.
Oh,
I think
yeah,
that's fair. Yes.
Oh, this is beautiful.
Oh, do you like it?
That's
Oh, I
weird.
love it.
That's weird.
Are there other drinks that you would compare it to? Okay, you can unlock the arms. It's fine.
No, keep it.
Well, Flower's drink is in front of his face.
Oh, your drink is in front of
It's
you.
like
Okay, put your arms down.
it's like somebody put some Kmart cotton candy in there or something. I'm not quite sure what other drink that would be comparable to, but one of those like off-brand Kmart 99 cents for a 12-pack sodas.
Yeah.
One of those was thrown into a mixer with some Coca Cola, and League of Legends was also in the room apparently.
They were in the room.
They added some Mr. Cola in
Yeah,
there.
I'm
Yeah.
not really sure what it's not bad. It's just really weird.
So they had a collaboration with like Fortnite a bit ago that I did with them, and it was like very similar. Where I
Okay.
tried it because I tried some of the other bottle that I had, and it was like it wasn't bad. It was just I have no idea how to describe it.
Right. Yeah.
It's like if there was a Dr. Pepper Light where you can get that little bit of taste, but then it moves you to a different direction. You're like, okay, I'm in a different room now. Okay, but now you're just drinking sparkling water with a flavor. And the flavor is mystery. So you're like, okay, well, that's kind of weird, and I don't really trust this. But then you go to the next one, and it's just like you're going to a movie theater, and it's just fountain pop. So I'm like, you're getting all of the above, and I just can't say what one thing was.
Yeah.
It's like 3 separate things, all of which is confusing, but it's good.
So, having had some myself, what if I said to you, Coke Zero and Dr. Pepper?
Yeah,
Right?
yeah. I think it's like
That-
Coke Zero and Dr. Pepper.
That
No.
tasted the most to me. Like
Yeah.
Coke Zero and Dr. Pepper.
There's still like an uncanny valley element. Like I can see how Coke
the
Zero,
sweetener.
yeah. Coke
Yeah.
Zero and Dr Pepper together, I would be like, yes, that sounds human,
Right.
but this is also clearly not human, even though it resembles it
Plus
closely.
some other mess.
Yeah, like that's
Yeah.
kind of where I'm at.
Yeah. I
But
don't
no,
know.
thanks for letting us try that
I
because I
thought-
didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah.
Did you ever? I want to say as a kid, but I did this even throughout college. Like take a cup and then go to the soda fountain and then get all of the sodas.
Every flavor.
Oh, yeah.
You might have to bleep this part out, but we called those suicides when out in Ohio.
We called those unalives.
So you're telling me that I was suicidal when I was 9 years old?
I mean,
That makes sense.
Explains everything.
Yep, it does.
I drank those all the time. My goal was to get everything at the Taco Bell when I would go to Taco Bell with my grandparents. So I would just like every drink, all this shit. Even the ones I didn't like, I put them in there on principle.
What?
Yeah.
Just for the sake of it?
Yeah. A true suicide is every flavor. So
You put some mug root beer in your
yeah,
beer on
no,
this.
there was mug root beer.
Yeah.
I put Diet Pepsi in that shit.
Oh,
There-
Jesus.
Follow-up question. Did you ever ask for a water cup and then fill it with soda?
I've never done it.
You're on tape.
I filled them with lemonade.
I plead the fifth.
Technically a
I
soda.
was
Technically
afraid.
a soft
Yeah.
drink.
No,
I was always
I filled it
afraid.
with non-water. Yes, I did that back when I was a teenager.
Oh my
I
god.
was always afraid that someone would be watching me and would catch me in the act. So I never did it.
Black guys can't do that shit.
Yeah. Their eyes are just like, literally, it could be a busy ass movie theater. And that clerk would be like,
A random cop will come in off the street. Sir, come with me. That's a water cup.
That's
So I
all.
believe that cup says water.
Oh man.
So we had to go to, I think it was like Target or something, to pick up stuff for a shoot. This was me and Ian. And I usually don't get bags.
Okay.
I just carry them out, right? Because I'm like, I don't need plastic bags, right?
Yeah.
So I think it was like, I handed something to Ian and then I just put the receipt in my pocket. And he starts frantically saying, like, are you going to hold the receipt? Hold the receipt. Hold the receipt out. Make sure that they see the receipt. I'm like, no, it's fine. We're literally walking from the checkout mark to the door. Like, it's fine. He's like, pull the receipt out.
Yeah, pull it out.
I'm just saying.
Don't do this to me.
It's like, pull the fucking receipt out. I'm like, we're fine. We're fine.
There's different
Okay.
rules, Ovilee. Sorry.
Yep.
Now that I pulled Ian into the conversation, I got him to play Diablo.
I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw you guys was doing some streams.
Yeah, a little
good,
bit of
yeah.
streams. Diablo. Now I know that you're a PoE fanboy.
I'm old school Diablo 2 player.
Oh, you're old school, okay.
I have at least 1,000 hours in Diablo 2 from back when I was in high school. That was
Holy
my schedule every day was just wake up at 6 a.m., go to school till 3, track practice till 5, Diablo till my mom yells at me, go to sleep, do it again.
Were you cross country runner?
Track. I did cross country as like a time burner thing, but I didn't really take it seriously. I mostly just got in troubles and my coach made me run perimeters.
Perfect.
No, but like in track, isn't there the long distance?
Yeah, there's like the 2 mile, but fuck that. I didn't do that. I did mid distance stuff. I did like the 800.
There you go.
Anything more than 100 is very long.
The 100's like the dead sprint.
Yeah, anything more than that, and I'm gonna fall over from exhaustion.
Ovilee's clearly beat.
I
built
joined
for
the
speed.
cross country team for a week.
You did? What did you do? Oh, cross country.
Yeah, for a week. I
For a week.
for a week.
So there's
The
a lot
moment
of-
I was like, "Oh, we're doing this every day." I was like, "Hell
What
no!"
do you mean practices every day after school?
I was like, "Oh, hell no!"
and we just run the whole time.
Yeah, I was like, "You're not getting the services of this scrawny Ethiopian kid." That's not happening.
Do you feel like you were profiled? They're like, oh, there's an Ethiopian kid.
The scouter is
Get
like,
him out here.
"What's his ethnicity?"
Womp womp.
I did hurdles until I fell. And then I never did hurdles again.
So
I could
one
have- so you
time?
could say you never got over that hurdle.
Hey! That's a solid one.
Subscribe to our Patreon.
Subscribe to Patreon for more shit content.
For
Just
more
like that
zingers.
joke.
No,
'em.
but Diablo 4, fantastic. I played a little bit of Diablo 3 when it came out in like, what was that 2013,
It
2014?
was a long time
Oh,
ago.
it's
a
been
long-
a minute.
Yeah, it's been a while. I played a little bit, but I didn't really understand the concept of it. But now I started playing it. I got hooked on it, and then I've just been playing it for like 6-8 hours a day for the past 3 or 4 days. It's freaking amazing. I'm playing a necromancer. I'm in love with corpse explosion, which is like you kill something, like you kill a minion, and it leaves like a little corpse body behind, and you point at it, and it explodes and does damage. It's fantastic. I love it. Ian's playing a sorcerer, and like I am not playing hardcore though, because I've seen a couple people go hardcore where if your character dies, they die
Permadeath.
forever.
That's it.
Yeah, I'm not about to do it, but I'm surprised that you aren't playing Diablo, Mr. PoE boy.
So here's my unbiased opinion. I think what Diablo 4 is doing is the best possible thing they could do for the genre as a whole. Because my assessment of Diablo 4 on release is this game is so much more friendly to the average just game player who might not be into these super complex min-maxy games than anything else in the genre. Specifically Path of Exile being on the other end of that spectrum entirely,
much.
where the learning curve is a cliff, right? So Diablo 4, I think, is actually setting themselves up on a path to do like what League of Legends did for the MOBA genre or what World of Warcraft did for the MMO genre, and take something that's very complex, something that's very foreboding, something that's like, oh, I don't know if I could learn that, and make it super easy for just some random dude who enjoys games to give it a shot, like what you're doing, right? But that does always come at a cost, at least in the short term, and that cost is it doesn't have the same fulfillment for long-term, like hardcore players at the time. Like, I don't like the idea of if I'm level 80 and this other guy's level 50 that we can play the same content together, because that invalidates the extra time I've put in building up my character. Why did I even bother getting to level 80 if he's level 50 and he's clearing the same room that I am, right? So my plan with Diablo 4 is I think they've got a great starting point. Everything that I've heard about it is just that the end game content isn't very robust right now. And for me, like when I play these types of games, I'm about the end game. I'm about the min-max.
Yeah.
So I'm going to my plan right now is to check it out once they, like here in a few months when they start getting into seasons
Do a
and
patch or
content
something.
updates.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that that's going to bring some like more meaningful end game stuff. And that's when I'm planning on jumping into it. But I like what they're doing with attracting so many more people to it, because that's what the genre really needs.
Yeah.
I
Raz?
hate that, honestly. You know, I don't like the fact that we have filthy casuals dealing with our game. I'm a hardcore Diablo fan. I'm also from Diablo 2.
Get good.
I agree with you.
You just the content that you guys didn't get before this is Raz played Diablo 2 for all of about 40 minutes. He beat the Countess in like the third area, and I don't mean the third act. I mean the third screen. And then he was just like, "Okay, I'm good."
Yep.
And then he'd quit. So
You still have cloth armor at that stage.
Yeah, I don't think I've
you don't
ever
even
dealt with
have-
items.
half the time you don't even got no armor. You're just
Yeah.
going around as a naked dude.
Yep, that was fun.
Something that someone pointed out on one of our previous episodes, when you played Breath of the Wild, did you get the paraglider?
No.
Yeah, he never got off the
He
canyon.
never got off the Great Fucking Plateau. So that YouTube comment was correct. He never got off the fucking Great Plateau. I thought that you meant that you were trying to go to Hebra, the Rito village, and that's what you were having difficulty with. You quit that fucking early on?
Wait a minute. Surely I didn't. I think I got past. So, okay, I can't remember. I don't remember.
He didn't get off
But
the
what's the
plateau.
Great Plateau?
It's like the first 30
That's the
minutes of the
first.
game.
The fact that he doesn't know what the plateau is.
It's longer
not
than 30 minutes. It's
But like,
longer
isn't
than
there
30.
like a
Is it
tower?
longer? I mean, I
isn't
don't-
there like a huge
Yeah, yeah,
tower
yeah.
and you like glide off?
That's a really big tower, yes. That's how you get off the plateau the first time.
Oh, I must have gotten off. I remember getting off.
You
Okay.
remember getting
I remember
off?
getting
off that
off?
plateau.
You remember
You got
getting
off?
I got off that plateau.
I don't
I got
buy it.
off
You
on
got
that
off?
plateau. I got off. I did a dungeon or 2 dungeons, so I did some
Okay.
things there.
Okay.
So I'm not that bad. At least not with that game.
No, here's the thing. You say dungeons, but when you say dungeons, I think you mean shrines.
Yeah, and there's 4 of them before you get off the plateau.
Exactly. So I don't believe he got the paraglide.
I will come back because I still think I have the saved game from back
Oh,
then.
yeah,
Oh.
so just
There
go
you
check
go.
the save.
I'll check it out.
Raz
Stream it.
has to defend his
Just check
honor.
I
save.
have to defend the honor.
Bring it. Like, do not turn it on until next week when
Okay.
you bring it.
Okay, I
And
like
we're
this.
gonna
We'll,
live
we'll
react.
discover together.
I'm ready for that.
Yeah.
And you guys can discover too. Just go to the Patreon.
There it is.
Updated
We'll
the
put
Patreon.
something on there eventually.
We need to hire someone. If you have no job and
No desire to get paid.
yeah, no desire to get paid, let's be honest. You've seen our Patreon numbers.
We'll pay you in high fives.
We can't pay you. Oh, Thresh is kicking the light in his sleep. Oh,
He
just
doesn't
woke
wanna
up.
do it.
No, he's volunteering to run the Patreon.
He's
Yeah.
volunteering.
To be the
He's like,
Patreon
I can
owner.
do it, Bobby.
Well, he's currently doing it. That's why there's no content.
Yeah, he's got little paws. He hasn't really figured out how to work the system yet.
But hey, if I want to rub Flowers' head,
We cannot guarantee any head rubs.
you want,
Why are you treating me like I'm a rabid dog?
I
see-
think you are.
if you see Flowers in person, do not rub his head.
I got someone to rub his head once. That did not work out well.
At a bar.
Don't do that.
You got someone to rub
Raz
his head at
had
a bar?
somebody walk up behind me and just touch my, and I just turned around and I went, that was the wrong fucking decision.
I almost started a fight.
Who was the person?
Some random guy that was like in the Collegiate League of
Yes.
Legends scene that Raz knew.
Good
and
man.
Because as soon as I turned around and the guy saw that I was very obviously not happy with having my head rubbed by a stranger that I had never seen before in my life, he just went, "Oh fuck, I'm sorry, dude. I was told that would have been cool, and that was clearly not cool." Like,
It was so sad because this was after the collegiate finals or something like that.
Which I didn't even know were going on, by the
But
way.
that was
this
last
was a
year.
couple years ago.
Yeah, or
Oh.
like 2 years ago last year.
Okay.
But yes, like it was a good time. He was a great guy. Had a great conversation with him, and then sicked him on Flowers to pat him on the head. I don't know why I did it. I thought it would be intriguing. I didn't think Flowers would just. This guy was gonna throw a punch.
Do you know me as a non-confrontational person?
Don't rub flowers. Don't do that.
This is the same thing with you coming up behind me and pretend like you're gonna mug me the other day.
I've done that a few times.
Stop doing that.
Do you want to talk about the person who's the first to get 100 in Diablo, or do you want to talk about the LCS coming back?
I'll just do the guy who got 100 really
Tell me
quick because
about
this
that
was
guy.
funny because I was talking to one of my friends who's like a hardcore like PoE shit bucket grind lord, and he's playing Diablo 4 now, so he's keeping up with everything around it. And he told me about how, so obviously most people who know about the game know that Blizzard put out a thing where they said, hey, the first 1,000 players to reach level 100 on a hardcore permadeath character will get their name forever, like permanently on a statue, like commemorating the launch of the game and these successful first wave of players. It's a cool community thing. I'm a fan of it. And so obviously some of the big streamers, some of the big players from other games like Path of Exile and stuff like that, they're all really pushing for this because it's a cool thing to achieve, and there's only a limited number of slots. And a lot of them are doing it in like min-maxed groups. They're trying to make sure they're getting the most EXP per hour, like doing specific content, targeting things. One of those groups I know was like Shroud, and I think my friend said it was two of the like best hardcore Path of Exile players, like the guys who always top the ladders every Path of Exile season, and they were all playing together. And so you have all of these super dedicated hardcore groups being like, we want to be first to 100. We're racing to 100. We want to be first. The guy who got first is just some guy. He's not like a streamer, a full-time content creator. He's not some dude that's like known in these communities as like one of the apex players. He's just some guy. I'm pretty sure his tag on Twitter was just like a normal name like Bob or something and then some numbers. And
oh no, Bob 12222.
Yeah, no, all these super dedicated guys doing min-maxes, playing in groups. Bob's just out here like, I think my friend said that when asked about how did he do it, he was like, I just played the game.
Bobberts, good
He's
luck.
like,
I just
played
no
the
life
game.
it, bro.
I just played the game. So yeah, there's proof for you. If you're ever wanting to compete in one of these types of events, remember that you don't have to be like a grind lord content creator, perma stream, 20 hours a day guy. You just got to be like Bob. Just play the game.
Be like,
Play like Bobbert.
I love that though. That's so sweet. 'Cause,
That's
I mean,
inspirational.
it is inspirational because I have no idea what I'm doing in that game. I just go, ooh, legendary item. I pick it up, I put it on, and I'm good to go. And when I have two legendaries, I'm like, which one has more green on it? Because green basically means like an upgrade. Yeah, and I'm like, okay. But Diablo aside, LCS is coming back this week.
Yes.
And technically, we film on Mondays, but then we release Wednesday mornings. But now LCS is going to be on every single Wednesday. So it's essentially
That's
like,
true.
what, 6 back-to-back super weeks?
Yes.
Yeah.
6 consecutive super weeks.
You guys prepared for that?
Yeah, I'm looking at it as an endurance challenge because I expect to be on 3 games a day, every day, just like I was for Spring Split. So I'm just looking at it as a long-term endurance challenge. That's how I'm going to take it, one day at a time.
I like that.
So you come out now. I know that is it controversial to say play-by-play workload is a little bit lighter to color casters because color casters have to be all in the analytics. At the desk?
I don't think it's controversial to. I mean, you can literally just look at like Raz has twice as many meetings today as I do because Raz is doing analyst desk stuff.
Yeah, basically what I'm
where
saying
not.
is you're a freeloader and you don't do any work.
Oh, absolutely.
Meanwhile, Raz,
You better believe
my
it.
entire skill set is easily replicable and replaceable.
yeah, I think so.
I'm not gonna lie,
AI Captain Flowers coming
Sometimes I'll put in my prep and I'm like, I didn't need to do all this. Like, I was like, okay, let me put all the LCK and LPL win rates on there, and I'm just gonna be talking about Yumi and Melio. That's it.
Yup.
I'm like, I didn't need to do all this.
Dude, I remember trying to put in like actual analytical work when I first joined the LCS, and I would go over to Jat, I'd go over to Mark and be like, I'm trying to understand what was it, like fucking bone plating in comparison to this other rune. What do you think is better? And they're looking at me and they're like, just ask the players questions about the game. And I'm like, okay.
Oh my god.
I'm like, yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry for bothering you during your jungle game in the office.
I will not challenge my IQ in the slightest. Thank you.
I'm fucking sorry. But no, I always think that's super funny. So then from the desk, is it tough, or when you have 3 back-to-back days, or is it?
It's a little bit more unsuspecting. So like a good example is like 2 days, easy to prep for. The third day, it's like, well, we need to know what happened the first 2 days. So a lot of it is trying to plan ahead well enough and create ideas, whatever it may be, like fun one-offs or fun segment ideas. And then on top of that, be able to tell the story of the games. But you're like, okay, let's talk about Dig versus IMT. I'm just throwing a random thing. For like day 3, it's like, well, like we can't build anything if we don't know what the hell happened in the last 2 days. So it's just a lot of overload on prep that now we got to figure out that formula. And I feel bad for video editors and the graphics people on our team.
That's who I'm worried for the most.
Yeah.
Is because it's just the turnaround time shrank and the workload grew.
Exactly. So like for me, like for us, like we've kind of done this before with LPL. I know the fucking rigorous work that you kind of get into. So you're like, okay, no, I've been through the gulag before. And right now the LPL guys respect you. They're in the gulag right now because they also have to deal with a ridiculous amount of workload. But like you get out of it, it's like, oh, I can handle this. It's just me kind of having to focus on work a lot more and balancing the work life. The video editors and graphics people and the people who are on the production side, bless you guys. You guys are amazing people, and I'm sorry for what's about to happen. That's just how it is. So I will try my hardest, hand on heart, not be a dickhead, and have last-minute sendings of requests to be like, yeah, I know the games are coming in 5 hours, but how about this graphic and a video piece that you guys have to edit now?
Okay, who's the biggest diva on this couch in terms of talent?
Yep, they're both looking at you.
We're both degens.
Yeah.
I feel like we're not. None of us is divas. I don't need anything.
I don't.
Both of you are looking at me.
Yeah.
I think you're the diva.
Yeah.
You think I'm the diva?
Well, actually, no. She's the grimiest. She gets down on the ground and works. Like, for instance, this podcast, we haven't put a penny in it.
Right, but that means we're not divas because we don't do anything. We have the needs of a plant.
But we're also not getting our hands dirty. Look at my soft ass hands.
I could say
Prince hands.
I could
Indoor
say
hands.
the only time that I turn into a quote unquote diva is when I see someone not pulling their weight.
Yeah.
Or when I see them not doing something where I'm like, I know this isn't your graphics or your video team, but
Yeah.
I'm just going to say a graphics or a video person.
Yeah.
Like if I ask a graphics person for a graphic that I
Yeah.
know should only take like a couple hours to turn around and it's 2 days later and I don't have a graphic, I'm going to go up to the graphic person and go, where the fuck is my graphic?
There it is.
That's when I turn into
The diva.
diva nightmare.
Yeah.
But then it's also like, fine, I'll just do it myself.
I think I'm only a diva. Well, everyone's going to agree with this one, but like, there's a hot mic, I'm just instantly mad. If not, it doesn't have to be with me. I don't care about me being hot mic'd. I say stupid shit all the time. People will just be like, this is the norm.
Do you mean hot mic'd like someone left your mic on or just
Like
hearing it
someone
anywhere?
left anyone's mic
Somebody's
on.
open, yeah.
Okay.
Like for instance, like Academy NACL was just happening and there was a hot mic situation and I was instantly pissed off. Like it didn't happen to me, but I was like, these guys don't have like they're the ones that are trying to get better and trying to like get their product out there, and you're hot micing them. That could just be really bad. So I just hate hot mics. That will send me out. But I'm generally really chill.
You know what the solution to that is?
What?
And this is something that I've done.
Okay.
Is you make it so the first thing you ever say whenever you're done and you're going to break or whatever is something positive,
Yeah.
funny, but also clippable. That's why I usually I go, good shit, Azale. That was fucking fun. And so then it's positive and funny, but it's also something that you're not supposed to say on air. So if it does get hot mic'd, boom, it's clipped. We've instantly got something to talk about. It's not something that's negative, and we're all having fun.
I have something to say that I would apologize to the audio people and the LCS.
Let's hear it.
Because let me just tell you, like, you know how you count down until the start of the show and it's like us on the desk? You'll notice a lot of times like my coworkers are like laughing or something or trying to keep it in. It's because I've said some stupid shit that should never be on broadcast.
Right before it starts.
Right before it starts. That is just literally meant to get them reacting. But absolutely, if that was on broadcast, would be like, what the hell?
Give us an example.
I can't remember right now, but like that one right now out of my mind, it's probably usually it's sex related or something stupid. Like I'm not. I don't know, or just clucking noises because like I'll just most.
Give
This
us an
one's not.
example.
This one's not sex related, but like whenever the LCS music is playing, I'll just start. I'll just do something really stupid, and it'll get somebody. But I will say, random aside, when I was in the LPL, the worst thing I've ever said on broadcast, I said the N-word on broadcast.
I think you told
Yeah.
us this.
Basically, it was a lesson for me. You know, we didn't have much viewership and all that, so I don't think it never got clipped and people didn't know. But you know how your natural vocabulary just catches up with you on camera?
Oh, yeah.
I was like, oh, I'm gonna stop saying the N for a while.
Gotta cut that out at home.
Yeah, we're gonna cut that out. Yeah, it's bleeding out of the broadcast. It's like, so we're gonna hold that one down. That was it for me.
Jesus. The one other thing I wanted to talk about with the League of Legends sphere. Will Disguised Toast save the League of Legends competitive scene?
Disguised Toast did more for the North American Competitive League of Legends in 1 week after buying a tier 2 team than some organizations have done in a long and extended period of time.
All
I'm
right.
not going to be more specific than that, but his dedication to just making something fun was very impressive, and it felt very welcome after what felt just like a really extended period of time of the overall sentiment people just being down on everything.
Mm-hmm.
That show match day, actually casting that with, because me and Azale casted it, and just casting that and the environment around it, and just, you know, the players being willing to be stupid and just have fun the second game when they realize that Scara and Dyrus and them guys can't beat Gold Flex Q players anymore. They're going to have to, like, you know, just lighten the punches a little bit. Sorry, Scara. I know that you tweeted out
love
that
you,
one
Scara.
call that I had about you farming minions in the base. It's just a story of the game, bro. It's all in good fun.
Oh, man.
We all saw
But
it.
Man.
but the spirit of the whole thing, it felt like League of Legends felt to me back in 2013 when it was at the apex of popularity. There was nothing else in the world even close to it. Everybody was just so in love with it, and there was so much just excitement over everything, no matter how stupid or small it was. This felt exciting like that again, and I'm hoping that's the spark that really catches on, and North America starts being able to have more fun with League of Legends again.
Yeah, and just to catch people up for maybe whoever didn't see the news, Disguised Toast, one of the biggest streamers on Twitch, was previously known for his Hearthstone streams, but then more recently Among Us when he was doing those huge Toast lobbies.
Yeah.
He recently bought a tier 2 Valorant team, just named Disguised. I think it was something like a $500,000 investment is about what he quoted. And then only, I think, a week or two ago, he decided to pick up another tier 2 team for Riot Games, this time within League of Legends. Squad of Fake God is on there,
Yep.
right?
Fake
So-
God, Tomio, Young, their mid laner, their bot lane is. Actually, I can't remember too well.
Yeah, so for about another 500K.
Zazel.
So
The important thing is they're all North American players.
Meech?
yeah, they're all North American.
They're all
players.
North
Meech.
American players. Golden Glue is their coach.
Yeah.
So
Love
it's not and I mean, he even commented
Yes,
on
Meech.
saying like, hey, this is just a thing to try to give these, like, keep some of those dreams alive for players who
Yeah.
feel like they lost a big opportunity with some of the rule changes and things like that. So I like the fact that he's sticking to his guns. He's saying, hey, I'm getting in it for the sake of, like, you know, the NA development system. And hey, everybody's from NA. We're not doing imports. Like,
And I
cool
think
guy. Thumbs up.
100%. And the scouting for this team was really good. I felt like the players that they picked up were really solid. A lot of the amateur talent, like the casters and everything, recognized, of course, is like, oh, these players are really good and they can play for first. Like, they can fight for first, which is really good for him because I know that you mentioned his Valorant team. His Valorant team got relegated in the tier 2 scene just because I don't know about the players. I think a lot of people, from what I've heard, said that the players were actually good, really good, but just didn't mesh well. But I think he mentioned on a video, actually, was learning from those mistakes, and like this team's looking good already. So excited.
Yeah, I think one thing to note is he is again a streamer first and then now an
Yes.
esports owner second. We
Yeah.
can't look at him and immediately go, well, he should be making the same moves as Cloud9 Jack or so-and-so. He should be making T1 moves. It's like, no, man, let him experiment. Let him figure out what he wants to do.
It's pretty refreshing to see the transparency too.
Yeah.
Too. He's very honest talking about it. And also the thing I loved the most was his when his Valorant team wasn't doing too well.
Yeah.
He was out in front and like really supporting his players.
He was.
He was supporting his players, letting people know, hey, this shit happens.
Yeah.
And this is just a lesson, and I mean they'll be better for it, and I'll be better for it. Like blaming himself a lot of the time. So I think what he is doing right now and being a face of his own team has been stellar.
So something interesting. Did you see his video that he released, I think like a day or two ago, talking about how he's $1 million in the hole now?
Yeah.
So something that's really interesting that he said in that video, speaking of transparency, was he's like, listen, I'm now kind of like out about $1 million this year with all of my esports investments. So how do you make money in esports? Oh, well, you get sponsors. And so he said that he went to a energy drink sponsor that is currently sponsoring other teams in the league.
Yeah.
Not named. You could guess that it's either Red Bull or Monster, probably.
Yeah, one or the other.
And he went to them and he was like, hey, I noticed that you're sponsoring this team. How would you like to also sponsor our team for far more deliverables and more views for like a fraction of that cost?
And he gave specifics.
And he said, and the energy drink company responded with like, hey, listen, we're actually done with esports. The only reason why we are still sponsoring this team is because the contract term. So when the term is up in 2024, we're probably gone. And I think that that's terrifying.
Yeah.
That is terrifying.
Yeah.
Because when you take a look at the rest of the sponsors around esports right now, it's like, we've got MasterCard, bless up MasterCard.
Bless MasterCard.
But Grubhub pulled back a little bit. We still have State Farm within the LCS, but we're seeing a lot of... State Farm gone?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Ooh.
Shows how much I've been watching the LCS.
Casual.
Buffalo Wild Wings.
Yeah, there was like a Buffalo
there's a
Wild
Buffalo
Wings thing.
Wild Wings,
So there's
yeah.
all these small little random ones.
Yeah.
But it's like, okay, cool. So you have Toast, who is now trying to take in all of these extra sponsorship opportunities to feed his League of Legends and Valorant like adventures and everything, which I think is very exciting. But I would personally, and I think some other people have already mentioned this, they would love to see if the tier 2 academy, challenger, whatever, VCT scene that you want to, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Toast, Ludwig and Moist Critical,
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Beast, and just all of these big content creators. Let's see all of the big content creators come in with like these fun kind of like grassroots teams and compete there, because I think that would kill in viewership.
Well, I mean, that's what happened. That's why people watched the French League in League of Legends now, right? Like up until a few years ago, I never heard anyone talk about the French League because most of the regional European leagues are, just that country.
Yeah.
But then the French team, or the French League, excuse me, I think there was some popular French influencer who was just like, I want an esports team now. And so that's what all the fandom came from. It was just the fans of the influencer come over, and now they're fans of the league, specifically this one team. So it's like this one team's games are where all the viewership is. But just kind of that drive and that draw, I think it's more likely to happen for Valorant, just because how Valorant is positioned as kind of like it's the Zoomer game that all the teenagers play now, whereas League of Legends was that 10 years ago. But now Valorant's kind of like cannibalized League's position in that
And
overall.
their studio.
Yeah. Anyway, I think that Valorant's probably the one that you're going to see more creators investing in, because it's just like the one that you see more creators like playing these days a lot of the times, right? Like, your offline TVs and your just like collaboration groups and stuff, when they don't have anything special going on, they're queuing up for Valorant. So I expect to see Valorant probably be one that sees a lot more of it. I'm super happy to see Toast getting into League. It does give me more hope that they are still looking at League and they do still want to like make something cool happen there.
Yeah.
Because despite how negative everything's been around like stuff in LCS and League of Legends in North America for the past few months, like it's far from a dead game. And particularly most of the negativity is around North America compared to, where in China, where it's like the NBA, or Korea, where it's just ingrained in the culture at this point. Europe, where it's got all these grassroots things. So if we can, that's what I said about the spark of feeling that fun again. If we can capture that spirit of fun and just having a good time that League of Legends had back when it was just the monumental flagship of games in the 2010s and stuff, That's what I want to see come back. Like that spirit of fun can overtake all this negative bullshit.
Absolutely.
The spirit of fun, and also you're going to be able to bring back sponsors eventually when the content creators are able to continuously show that they're killing it with the deliverables, or just like their engagement on their Twitter and YouTube and stuff that I think orgs have just been struggling with in general. They either haven't put much effort into it, or when they have, they really don't know where to go. And I think, especially with how Disguised Toast has actually talked about it and has shown examples of how they're hitting those, I was like, okay, that's changed my opinion.
Yeah. That's something I want to jump into too, just and kind of like, the final point for this esports thing. Orgs, the reason why we're losing all these sponsors and seeing all these sponsors leave is because orgs have been lying to the sponsors about deliverables and metrics for over a fucking decade now. Yeah. Where it's like, oh yeah, we've got this person on our team, and on their stream they average 5,000 concurrents. So if our org was to start up a stream and he's, like standing in the background, we should have 5,000 concurrents. And then the content that they drop gets like 100 views on YouTube at most. Where it's like, orgs have just fucking lied to all of these sponsors. I saw some of like these past like sponsorship pitch decks and like what certain creators pulled in terms of the deliverables and metrics that they were providing. And I'm going like, what the fuck? You're pulling in 35 grand for a show that's only giving you like 900 concurrent viewers per stream? What the fuck? It was just absolutely flabbergasting to me. Yeah. So it's like, I'm torn where I'm like, I mean, it's kind of good that some sponsors are saying no to these jackasses, but at the same time, it's terrible for the league. Yeah. But esports and everything aside, Rez, you had a discovery this week?
I did have a discovery.
What does that
I actually had
mean?
a discovery pretty much today. So I was talking to a friend.
Wait. Pride Month exclusive?
Pride Month. No Pride Month.
You definitely
no Pride Month
exclusive. You do not want to label that as that. Trust me, once you hear the subject.
No, never mind.
No, let's just call it, if you're going to tag anything with it, a Raz exclusive, all right? Okay. Raz is providing this. Raz learned of this.
Okay.
Talking to a few friends, and they figured that there is a few people in their neighborhood that were specially branded. Now,
specially branded?
Yeah. And basically what I had figured out was there was a website where you can track human beings.
Oh, no.
They call that the sex offender registry.
Raz discovered the sex offender registry today.
Are you on it?
No!
Oh!
No. Why would I be on it? I'm not a sex offender.
Honest question, right?
I was like, I didn't know.
Wait, hold on. You discovered that it exists? That there is such a thing?
Like a website for it. I've always kind of heard people here and there saying it was a thing. And I know it's a thing, like in Canada. But in Canada, it's not publicly available. Like police, agencies will have access to it, but not the public. But here I could see if it's my next door neighbor. So I got to work. And that's why I was actually late to his place to travel to this location.
Raz was racing the Uber.
I was racing the Uber because the first thing that was happening was are there sex offenders near my place? I found out there is one across the block, but he has 2 minutes, but he's around the corner. I would never be able to see him unless if we were walking the same direction. That would not have happened. So I was like, I'm safe. So I'm like, I'm good. Okay, we're all right. Then while I was in call with my friends, my friend who's living in downtown, I was like, oh, that has to pull a bunch of people. So I checked their address, and
they're a sex offender.
No, they're not a sex offender. But I will say this website, like the map for the website, kind of reminds me of Google Maps in the sense that it was it's really detailed. It shows you the address. Yeah. It shows you it shows you where you are, the address that you placed as your home, like a little icon. I could not find it when I searched up this place. I was like, why can't I find your house? Like the icon should be there. It was hiding. behind a sex offender icon because there was a sex offender in their apartment building. It was like, oh no! I was like, no, watch out! Don't leave your house. So there was a lot of that. And then, of course, what got me late was like, well, I know Ovilee's address. So
Rez, don't reveal it on stream. Don't reveal it on stream. It's in the lawyer's paperwork. Don't reveal it on stream.
It was the same thing, and I saw your face, your mugshot. No, thankfully.
The description is reading hentai in public.
Yes, they needed to hide this. The entire library here. So, no, thankfully, of course, you don't have anyone anywhere near you. So, like, you're good. You're fine, you know?
Picked a good spot.
Privilege.
Let's just say you may have searched that before finding the location because you're steering clear. But just as another realization is, I was like, wow, they also show you stacking icons. Like, oh, this is a violent one, or there's a lot of them in this building. So I was like, whoa, this building has like 10 sex offenders.
Yeah.
It was a hospital. Because, like, of course, people are going to go to a hospital, and they're generally old, so you get a lot of them. So if you ever get admitted, there might be a few.
So there's old, like, elderly, sick and dying sex offenders just in the hospital?
Yes.
You gotta be careful walking the hallways.
Look,
Raz really went down a rabbit hole with
I went down a rabbit hole. So and I hid this, by the way, from them when revealing that I was like, oh, I have something I've discovered. So I was very clear when we were introducing it. No, actually, no, this is me. This is just me.
I thought you found a cool like hiking trail or a restaurant.
No, we discovered the sex offender registry.
Okay.
Does it give a description as to like why they're on the sex offender
Oh, it gives a
registry?
whole like biography.
So it's the craziest one that you read.
Oh, good
Oh
gosh.
boy.
So the person that was living in the same building
Yeah.
as my friend
Yeah.
is actually violating their sex offender registry. So we don't believe that they're in that building anymore because what they're not charged for is kidnapping. And when I say kidnapping, I mean the literal kidnapping a minor. So that's not a funny topic at
So
all.
this person is on the lam,
Yeah.
running away,
Yeah.
because if they were there, they would get their ass hauled off to prison.
Yes.
That's what they would want the cops to think. So they're actually still in their unit.
Detective Ovilee's on the case.
Yeah.
Because I've watched a lot of detective anime.
Anime?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I would have been a little bit more confident if you meant a real show.
I watched Sherlock a lot.
Sherlock anime?
No, I like Benedict Cumberbatch.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Flowers.
Hello.
If I was to look at you and say 2 discs, do you know what I mean?
No.
I really thought you would have heard this news. I really thought you would. So we had the Summer Games Fest this week with our boy Jeff Keighley.
Yeah, dude, Pal World got a release date.
Oh my God. No, no, no.
Pikachu AK-47.
Oh,
January of next year.
I'm excited for that, but also it's early access, so I'm less excited.
Oh,
Oh,
I will pay them $80 for an early access build. I don't care. I'm playing Pikachu with an AK-47.
Is
Okay.
that the game where you can use Pokemon as a human shield?
Yes,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
they work in sweatshops building guns, and
Let's
then
go!
you fight Rhydon with like an AK-47.
I'm playing. We're playing.
It's
this.
like Grand Theft Pokemon.
Yeah.
I thought that you would have been screaming at me saying 2 discs. Did you not hear the news? I think it closed out the entirety of Summer Games Fest.
I was texting friends about Pal World during whatever the end was.
Final Fantasy VII Part 2.
Oh yeah, that thing.
The remake is coming out.
That is the thing that's coming.
Cool.
I thought you would have been super excited.
I never even played the first one.
I thought you said you played Final Fantasy VII.
No, I played the original one,
We
yes,
both
but
played
not
the
the
original.
remake.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't even played the remake.
I own the
You
remake,
should
but I
play
didn't
it.
really finish it. I didn't finish the remake.
No,
I'm halfway
I'm
through the
sorry
remake,
to
too.
deflate your hype boner here. No, I haven't played any of the Final Fantasy VII remake stuff because my impression of it was there's no way they're going to have the whole game done.
Yeah.
And like, to completion of what the scale of Final Fantasy VII the original was. So I don't want to play it until it's actually done. I'm not going to get strung along for X amount of time. I still have PTSD from Game of Thrones, and if they don't make the whole thing good, I'm not going to play it.
That's kind of my concern. I feel like Final Fantasy VII for me was an insane story. So it's like there are changes obviously to fit this format and also to make it different and new for older players. But I'm like, almost certainly I'm going to like it less. I'm not going to lie. Like I'm going to like it less than the original because the original was so good to me.
Okay.
And there's not going to be as much of a journey. Like there's not going to be that big of a feel of like exploring because the first game, a lot of time is put into it in exploring the planet.
I mean, it has a world map. Most games don't have a world map.
Exactly.
Right,
so I enjoyed it too much. So I'm waiting basically until the final game or whatever it may be comes out. Even though I played a bit of the first game, I'm like, I'm going to wait until it all comes out till I can enjoy it.
So you're waiting until there's like 12 discs.
Basically.
Right. Pretty much whenever they actually get to the end and you get to fight Sephiroth in the crater, that's when I'm like, okay.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, sorry.
Yep.
Anybody out there who just got spoiled the final boss fight of the 1997 PlayStation 1 hit video game Final Fantasy VII.
97?
Yes.
It came out in 97.
I was a year old.
There you go.
Yeah.
Might have been why you missed it the first time
Spoiler
around.
alert.
I think that's actually pretty fair because I was like, I never played Final Fantasy VII. I always hear the hype for it, but I just always missed it.
Yeah, that's might have been just a little off the mark there on the age.
Ooh, I will say I'll probably play it earlier than the end as long as you get to that one part when the pyramid is gone. You're just wailing at like...
You just hate,
Huh?
You just hate Egyptians?
No, you're just wailing on Aerith.
Aerith?
Remember?
You're beating up Aerith?
Remember in the game where you're like, you
Okay,
don't have to...
we don't need to spoil for people who are about
Oh
to
no,
play.
I think I remember. Yeah, okay. I remember.
Oh my god. Oh, either way, I think this was a good episode. You two have fun with LCS. I've got crazy shit going on this week. And for everyone watching, we're back. Sorry that we took that 2-week break, but hey, we're here again to stay. We're going to be here back on all the Wednesdays.
Hell yeah.
We may move from this couch setup just so I can have my living
Then we're
room
just
back.
casters.
I know.
There's no couch.
We can fabricate a couch. We're gonna figure it out. But
It's like a 3D printer.
CGI couch.
CGI couch. We're gonna get AI art of couches just all over. But
Perfect.
thank you all so much for watching. Like, subscribe, drop comments. What do you think?
What?
I was gonna say if Raz was on the sex offender website, what would his description read?
Oh,
That's our clue. No, we don't want comments
Drop
like
that comment.
We don't want that.
Don't
Drop
do
the
that,
comment,
please.
and we
Don't
will
find yourself
see
on the
you all
registry.
next week. Bye, everyone.
Don't find yourself on the registry, please. And if you are, stay away from schools.
We're gonna get banned.